Caught up with Andy the other week. We spoke on the phone. We're going to hear some of that. Then we're going to hear the brand new track, Ribcage. Then we're going to have some more chit-chat. And then we'll have another song. All right? That's how we roll. Here it is. There's been so much growing, like, online chatter about what's going on with it. You know, you're working with John. Feldman is such a good dude. How was it working with him, first and foremost?
Well, what's interesting is that from the time that I met John, we hit it off right away, and I think that's not uncommon. Most people that meet John get along with him pretty well. For me, it was a little odd because most of the people that I'd worked with professionally in my career up to that point, they didn't really get what I was going for, didn't really understand the context of what I was trying to build. And going into the first record that I made with John, with Black Veil Brides, which was Wretched in the Vine, it was a very broad kind of large-scale idea that I had to make this kind of dystopian, futuristic, whatever the hell concept album. And because of that, it took me back at how much he got it immediately. And so from that moment on, for the next 5 years, or however long it's been, John and I have stayed in constant contact about all things creatively. And honestly, he won't take credit for it, but I keep trying to give him the credit that he really was the one who spurred me on when it comes to this project. And we had always had conversations about the different types of music that we loved and the things that we loved the most about music. And he always kind of said it would be great if I had an opportunity to make a record that was like those things that we love.
Yeah.
And kept with it for years and got to the point where we had the time to do it and was really dedicated. And so while I certainly will take the credit for the things that I did on the record, I will definitely always give Feldy the credit for getting me to the point where I wanted to really commit myself to do it in the first place.
Amazing. And he's quite a visionary guy as well. So, and this is like a whole other aspect to you, and I think it's working really well for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think if you were to ask me my top 10 favorite records of all time, and I realized this recently, I wouldn't name a single metal record in there. Because in terms of influence, my influences came from pop rock, new wave, goth, punk rock music, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't really listen to a lot of heavy metal growing up. I loved Metallica, and I loved the classic rock side. I loved AC/DC, and obviously there's a huge influence from some of the 80s glam bands and stuff on early Black Veil Brides. But the reality was that the reason why we started playing the type of music that we did was I met Jake and Jinx and CC and these people who could play that type of music and were very interested in that. So the idea was to meld those kind of things together. If you would have asked like 15-year-old me where I'd wind up, this is probably more akin to what I would have thought I'd be making. And in that capacity, it was so much fun to do. We really wanted to do something that was not dissimilar to the transition from Billy Idol Generation X to Billy Idol, Billy Idol.
Yeah.
And something that was seamless in terms of, for the audience, that they can be a fan of Black Veil Brides and really enjoy it. And this is a different side of me. It's not me leaving my band to do something different than to rub it in the face of anybody. It's really just me saying this is another part of me artistically, and I'd like to be able to put this out there.
As I said, we've got Ribcage's track of the week. This is a Rockist record. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this song?
Absolutely. This song is, I always grew up loving kind of the dancey new wave songs. I loved, even like stuff like You Spin Me Right Round and those kind of things always made me smile. And I wanted to do a song that had that kind of feel to it, a kind of 80s dance, throwback thing. But what we've been affectionately referring to this record as Goth Springsteen. So it's somewhere between those two, one of those two things. So that's Ribcage.
That is me sold. Anyone says Goth Springsteen, sold. This week's Rockist record, brand new from Andy Black. This is Ribcage. That was Ribcage, Andy Black. So, whilst we were speaking, I also asked him how it feels to be, on the verge of releasing his solo album, and also what it means for Black Veil Brides in their future.
I think anybody that does anything different than what people are used to or have become accustomed to them doing, the immediate fear will strike. And if you're a hardcore Black Veil fan and have been for years, and you see me doing this other thing and there's maybe some success with this other thing, I think that the fear is innate within people to go, okay, maybe he's going to move on. But the reality is, I started the band Black Veil Brides when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
It's been a decade of me dedicating myself to this, and it seems kind of silly to me to think I would leave it, especially when I know that we've got 8 songs done on a new Black Veil Brides record. And in many ways, doing Andy Black and the pop elements of Andy Black has renewed my love for the heavy music. I go back to Black Veil Brides, and we're working on a record with Feldy right now that feels really great and really good, and I can't wait to release it. In the same way that I can't wait to tour this record with Andy Black and to see where it goes. Part of the fun of doing this is that, the shows are much smaller in scale than Black Veil. Yeah. And in terms of set list, there's a lot of freedom. If I want to play a song that I used to love covering in my garage band growing up, I can do it. There's not going to be any kind of weirdness there. So it's going to be a much more low-key, fun environment.
That rules. And, as soon as you said that, I'm desperate to know what covers those might be.
We'll see. I mean, I'm going over, but, part of it for me was my deep love of bands like Alkaline Trio. Obviously, I had Matt Skiba come in and sing. I was fortunate enough for him to agree to come in and sing on one of the songs on the record. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's Social Distortion, probably some Generation X, things that for me were my biggest influences.
Right.
But right now, we're just kind of jamming, I've got a pretty busy schedule right now I just wrapped up with my first feature film.
What's the film?
It's a film called American Satan. It's going to be coming out, I believe, next fall. And it's a thriller movie about a young kid who moves from the suburbs to Los Angeles to try to make his dreams come true. And he meets a very evil, enigmatic character played by Malcolm McDowell, who ultimately changes his fate and things go very wrong. So, it was really cool. It's my first lead role in a movie, and I'm very excited about it.
That rules, man. Awesome. And you're saying about getting Skiba on the record?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the differentiation between saying featuring Matt Skiba on the one song is that he literally sings an entire verse, an entire chorus, and half the bridge. And he was not part of writing the song. He just came in and sang. So with many of the other people, like, for instance, Gerard and his brother Mikey, they were intrinsically involved in writing the song Louder Than Your Love from the record, as well as playing instrumentation on it and singing on it. So in that way, it's less of a duet situation, more of this is a group effort and a collaboration.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the album, man.